Thank you to our sponsors for today's video, Nokian Tyres, Amber, InfyPower, and StarCharge. Nokian Tyres is a leader in safety and sustainability. Maximize performance and efficiency with their made-in-USA all-season tires and their dedicated Hakkapeliitta EV winter line from the inventor of the winter tire. Learn more at nokiantires.com/EV. And Amber, providing modern protection plans for your Tesla's battery and more, without the hassle of long-term contracts or upfront payments. Check out the link in the description to explore their plan options and use code SPEC5 for a 5% discount on all plans. InfyPower is the largest EV charger module provider with over 3 million power modules running reliably worldwide. Their latest G2 collection features ultra-high power density and efficiency for EV charging and energy storage integration. InfyPower, innovation for your power. And StarCharge, the largest EV charging manufacturer in the world, and is also a provider of residential and commercial battery storage as well as microgrid solutions. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. Welcome to a very early morning here on our Hogback driver assistance test loop. This is where we run a bunch of different vehicles in a subjective and objective test of their driver assistance. We want to know how well they hold the lane, how they handle some corners, and the corners is the big point here because we run this test at the base of the hill climb of I-70 here in the Hogback Mountains. And this is some of the twistiest and most difficult highway in all of America. So we always say if a system can work really well here, it'll work perfectly cruising across Kansas. Anyway, Jordan joins me. We have the new Mercedes EQS. I say new because there have been some slight adaptations for 2024, but it will also get some more adaptations into 2025, such as a new battery and some other things. I'll walk you through some of the car stuff, and then I'll walk you through the driver assistance system, and we'll run out and run the Hogback and see how well it does. We've run an EQS before, and if I remember correctly, it did really well. So this is definitely one maybe everyone should keep their eye on. Jordan, last time we were here with an EQS, it was the AMG version.
Right, you and Max ran that one and it was very impressive, and he just kept talking about how ugly it was, but like, honestly, great driver's car when you're driving and being driven.
Yeah, I mean, that is the number one. I post any photo of this car online and people are like, oh, it's so ugly. I'm like, yo, I didn't design this thing. I'm just trying to test it. So like, don't give me crap for it being ugly. And this spec is doing it no favors. Let's just get this out of the way.
Brown on beige. Max wishes he was here for this. That's the color his car is.
So we've had this test car for the last 5,000 miles, something like that. We drove it from Seattle to Boston, and then we've done range tests, charging tests, 10% challenges, and now the driver assistance test here in Colorado. This is the EQS 450 Plus. Actually a pretty base car, Jordan.
Yeah.
It's spec'd to 111,000, which, yeah, that's a lot of money for a car, but for an S-Class variant, an EQS, this is pretty lightly spec'd.
Right.
Has a couple things, massaging seats, the big air package, but it actually has the standard driver assistance system, which, spec'd for an EQS, is one of the Mercedes top systems, but it's not quite the top system, which I don't think would actually give us any benefit here, because that's what's called Drive Pilot.
Right.
And Drive Pilot, you'll notice whenever you see one, has these two big LiDAR sensors up here in the hood. I think Vallejo makes those LiDAR sensors that Mercedes specs. I could be wrong, but for some reason I feel, no, I'm pretty sure it is Vallejo. We've seen it at their booth at CES.
Yep.
And on certain roads in Nevada and California, and also in Germany, you can actually run level 3. This is one of the only, if not the only, someone correct me in the comments, vehicles that technically is level 3 SAE certified, approved. You can look away while it's doing its thing on the road, and you're not required to actually watch the road or touch the steering wheel. Is that correct, Jordan?
I think so, and that's absolutely wild to think about that.
I feel like we really need to test that. I know Mercedes did a little thing, so hopefully they're watching and we can figure out a car and go to Nevada or California and try that out and do a video, because we think driver assistance on this channel, at least, is so important to an electric vehicle ownership. When you're buying an EV, especially one that's as long distance capable as this, you want all of these support systems to kind of guide you down the road, help you stay in the middle of the lane, but you don't want them to be annoying, you don't want them to be dangerous, and so this is why we run every vehicle on this test. Before we get into the car, let's talk about that Hogback test, Jordan. Tell us a little bit about the route, where we're heading up to.
Right, so we're heading west on I-70, which a lot of you have seen part of that in our Race to Vegas series and other road trips, because this is the gateway to the west, kind of, from where we are here in Denver. It is a quote-unquote treacherous stretch. We have about 30 miles total, and that includes at least 50 some corners, 1,500 feet elevation gain, so it's a lot of rising, going back down, going back up, left, right corners. A lot of exits. Some are marked really well, some are marked less well. The lanes also are sometimes perfectly marked, sometimes not.
And sometimes there's like these really tight lanes with sharp corners and big stuff going on and trucks right next to you.
Right, it's like, what do you call it? Decreasing diameter corners and stuff. Things you see on racetracks are also here in the I-70 corridor.
Yeah.
So it's really quite treacherous. And like Kyle said, one of the most treacherous stretches of actual highway, which we use because not all cars can use their full ADAS unless they're on like pre-mapped highways. Fortunately, Mercedes is not like that. We'll get into the things it wins on later, but
yeah, it is for Drive Pilot, but for this version, not so much.
Right.
So it's been a couple years since we've run an EQS. Why are we running another EQS? Well, there have been software updates to this car. This is one of the newer vehicles that Mercedes, I have to give them credit for, has done a great job supporting their electric vehicles with over-the-air software updates. I feel like not very many EV enthusiasts have actually purchased the Mercedes EQ stuff, so we don't hear about them as much in the community. Of course, we hear about Tesla and Rivian and Lucid and all the things, but Mercedes secretly, or not so secretly, they just haven't done a very good job of communicating how they've kept the cars up to date for owners. There's new features, new efficiency improvements, so many little things that have come through software updates, both good and bad. They did something recently to brick the route planner, although that's been fixed. And so, you know, just like any company, they are struggling with, I would say, the software user experience that like most existing automakers are. But honestly, Jordan, out of all of them, I think this might have it nailed. A lot of people like to knock on MBUX and Hyperscreen and all this stuff for having, as you say, this Windows Vista look, but the functionality is amazing.
it is, it really is.
Yeah.
It's pretty fast, pretty snappy, OLED screens. So we're talking like really nice software and hardware. It's just not everyone's favorite looking. But honestly, when you're driving across the country, who cares, I guess?
I love it personally. I drove that EQS SUV in the Race to Vegas recently, and I was just like so sold on the whole thing. It was awesome.
Well, these things are range monsters. I just did the range test on this and it did over 400 miles and it's just amazing.
Yeah, so, you know, when you come to start thinking about this versus Lucid as an example, if you want a high quality, long distance capable machine, this did about 100 miles less than our Lucid Grand Touring. Look, i3S. Whoa,
that's gorgeous.
Super rare here in the US. Love to see it. All the Germans at Mercedes are like, we see those every day. Why are you excited? This thing did 400, how far in the 70-mile test?
I don't remember exactly, but just over
410, 412. So just about 100 miles less than the Lucid, but Jordan, it's consistent.
Yep.
The software never really bugs out. It has this nice flat charging curve, deep. Like you could charge this thing 80, 85% on a road trip and just do these huge 300 plus mile stretches that honestly, the Lucid takes so much work to optimize as a driver. This, it's just mindless motoring.
Sit back and relax.
Mercedes knows how to do a thing or two, and they've definitely proven it. So come around the back. I just want to show you the car for everyone who hasn't seen it yet. It is, you know, EQS is built on the EVA platform and electric vehicle architecture. And it's, you know, I guess unchanged in a sense. I talked a little bit about the 2024 model year updates. There, I think, were some software, hardware stuff. Oh, look, it's Man Cave Mike coming up. Is it? Or is that someone else?
No, it's someone else.
It's someone else, isn't it?
Nice.
Cool.
I love the cars we see out here. This is the best part of this test.
Cue the comments complaining about my car ADD. We've seen like Scania trucks and other stuff, but model year 2024 got some updates, such as they fixed the brake pedal, which was a huge thing. It got efficiency improvements. I forget, a couple other little things. 2025 for the sedan will get the 118 kilowatt hour battery pack.
That'll be amazing.
The EQS SUV got the 118 kilowatt hour battery pack for model year 24.
Right.
So this is a year behind in our market, which is a little bit weird, but this is built in Sindelfing in Factory 56. The EQS SUV is built in Tuscaloosa. Ask any German to say Tuscaloosa, it's hilarious. And anyway, just some background information. So driver assistance, what do we have? Well, we have little, of course, sonar or short range radar sensors around the vehicle. And there's a series of those. But same that we've seen from Mercedes in the past, we have 3 cameras up here. So you have your augmented reality camera right there, and then your 2 ADAS cameras here. You have a radar, which is behind the Mercedes star, and it is a heated radar there. And also cameras all around the vehicle for a 360-degree view. What we're gonna do first, Jordan, is score the car based off of some I don't know, attributes that it has before we start, and it has the opportunity to earn some safety and functionality related points in this test. Then we will jump out onto the Hogback loop, and basically it can only go downhill from there.
Right.
We can only deduct points every time it hits a line, or every time it does something weird or disconnects or faults out.
Yeah, now's the chance for it to score points early, and we also will test and see what it will do in an emergency situation. You know, if the driver is unresponsive for some medical emergency or something, or just literally falls asleep, what will the car do? And that's part of the scoring.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's jump in, let's start scoring, let's do the safety related test, then we'll jump out on the loop and see how well it does on the newer software with this driver assistance system.
Scoring the EQS.
Jordan, it's time to score the EQS, as you just mentioned. These videos are always long and drawn out.
Right.
Okay, so let's run through some good, some bad, and it also has some updated functionality from the last time we tested. We now have automatic lane changes, but I think most everything else should be the same for this. So let's run through the criteria.
Right. So for the driver's assistance, we actually have a capacitive wheel, which is always great to see, so it earns 5 points. Driver safety eye tracking, as we saw, earns 5 points. There's no hands-free on this one. Pre-mapped highways doesn't apply here. Gauge cluster does show cars around, not as well as Tesla, but it does have the driver's assistance screen.
Yeah, I'll show everyone. If I hit the home button, basically I can change this display and my head-up display. So if I come over here to the assistance menu, this will show us everything going on. So it knows there's a street to the right, as an example, and some other things going on, which is cool. This has been updated through software as well, which is cool. And then also I can go to the augmented reality in my head-up display, which maybe if I hold the camera, I can roughly show everyone. Oh no, it's like not even picking it up at all. Just, it looks so terrible on camera, but you can see these little arrows right there, actually. Right there, you can see it. And so it kind of tells you when you need to make turns or when it's following a car correctly. And it's huge. The head-up display in this is massive, and there's so much info, and you can decontent it, but I'm weird. I like everything up there. Nav, driver assistance, augmented, load it up, then it gives me all the good details.
Right. We also don't have lane centering limited to pre-mapped, so that's great. That would have deducted 5 points, which a lot of cars do.
Yeah, Rivian, Lucid.
Lucid doesn't have full Dream Drive unless you're on pre-mapped.
I hate systems that are limited to pre-mapped highways. It's so annoying. Lanes are there. Follow them.
Right. Anyways, now we have the automatic function. So, does it adapt to speed limits?
Yes, and we actually have some great settings in here for the driver assistance system. For example, speed adjustment. You can go to maximum permissible speeds. And what does that actually mean?
It's a very German way to say that.
I don't know. And you can also do route-based, which means it will slow down for corners.
Right. Cool. Okay, so that gives it 5 points. It doesn't do a speed limit offset, though, I don't think.
No, I think it does.
Oh, it does now?
I think so. If I come over here, I just saw it. It was in one of the menus, no, where we could go plus 5 miles an hour. It's not in here. It's active lane change. What the heck? Vehicle. Gosh.
There's a lot of settings in here.
Well, I just don't remember which one I saw it in. Under assistance, traffic sign assist, threshold for speed warning.
Right.
Ah, that's right. Okay, but we'll set it there. I think it will just go to the speed limit. We'll try it though. I don't know.
Yeah.
We did put this, we put this speed adjustment on. So active driving assist can adopt maximum permissible speeds automatically and reduce the speed, for example, on winding roads. Eco assist in D auto can intelligently adapt its instructions and the degree of recuperation.
That is a long way to say that.
I'm sure this is a direct translation from German to English.
Right. So we do have adaptive system aggressiveness, which is pretty cool. So that can be adjusted based on your drive mode or even just a default setting.
Yes, and you can basically go, I keep it in dynamic,
Right.
so that way it's like right up on everyone, it wants to boogie, and that's how we'll run this test, because I think that's how most people kind of want their systems to be, is quite eager, not lazy. But if you like it lazy, you can just leave it in comfortable, or you can do it based off of drive mode.
Yep. And you can, oh yeah, you can separate from drive mode, so we could check that. Automatic lane changes is a feature on this, which is really cool, including without user input.
Yep, so active lane change assist, manual and automatic initiation. And it will put us back into the lane, what does it say? Oh, it's in this menu right here. It was in the recommended lane and help follow the route. So it also does it based off navigation.
And it's cool as an option. I mean, we turn that off for our range test because we don't want it to try to pass things and stuff. But here it should be really interesting. And it does return to the right lane, so nothing lost there. Now we get to the part where we have an unresponsive driver situation. We will go ahead and jump to that clip to see what happens.
Yeah, so I'm basically going to pretend to die. And then, I hate to be so blunt, but that's what we're trying to simulate, is if you become, you know, I guess not dead, but not functioning,
right,
a non-functioning human, then you will, then the car has to somehow protect you, in our eyes, if you're on one of these systems. So let's see what Mercedes does. What we're going to do is simulate what happens if you die.
Bit macabre, but real.
Okay, driver assistance is on fully, and I'm not touching anything. So it also will do some eye tracking. So Jordan, I'm going to look away. You are going to watch the road.
Right.
So I am basically dead. Is it lane centering still?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still holding on.
Just alert.
Oh,
first ding. Did it say something?
Just has the symbol with the hands on the wheel, or hands off the wheel, I guess.
Okay.
Doing the symbol again.
Okay. So far, pretty lame.
Still good.
Yeah, I mean, this is going on for a while. Some cars would have already been freaking out by now.
Yeah, no one's behind us.
I will say, it did notice I was not paying attention pretty early on.
Yes.
But this warning is going.
It's really just going. No one's behind us, no one's in front. We're still good, but wow.
Yeah.
Volvo by now would have called the helicopter and everything.
and Hyundai would have put us in the guardrail.
Right.
Oh, it's slowing down.
Initiating emergency stop.
Okay, I'm looking now. Initiating emergency stop. Oh, hazards are on. It's coming to a very gentle stop. No jab of brakes. Oh, there's a hard brake. Okay, coming to a stop.
Ready.
So it put us in park.
Parking brake.
With the parking brake, which is a bit weird, because if I wake up and we're about to be rear-ended, like, I want to go.
Yeah, yeah.
So I really think that some of the systems that hold you, parking brake, but in drive, and that also unlock the doors. So a couple things I've noticed Volkswagen starting to do that I really like is they'll, of course, yank the seatbelt, honk the horn, hazards, and actually unlock the exterior doors and turn on the lights when you come to a stop.
Right.
Which is really a great way to alert everyone what's going on. This, of course, did the hazards, which is great. Came all the way to a stop. I wish it left it in gear and didn't put itself into park. You can just keep it in drive with the parking brake on.
Did it do any seatbelt yank or anything like that?
No seatbelt yank.
Okay.
Nope, which is surprising.
Right, yeah.
I don't remember. I guess it's been a while since we've done one of these on a Hogback, but I thought it did.
Huh. Nope, the last one didn't, so.
Yeah, Audi does. A few others do the seatbelt. Porsche does the seatbelt.
Right.
Anyway, okay, let's go back and run that through the score. Jordan!
You survived.
That was interesting.
Yes.
So it came all the way to the stop, put itself in a park, which I mentioned I didn't love so much, and of course no seatbelt yank. So let's run through the stuff that we score.
Yes, so seatbelt yank would have been nice. Seat shake, some cars can have that. Exterior horn. Hazard lights it has, brings to a complete stop it has. The steering does not let go without warning, which is good. We've seen that before, which is crazy. And it does not pull over to the shoulder. Nothing really pulls over to the shoulder.
I've just seen it.
Okay.
Volkswagen.
Oh.
I just saw in like their new Tiguan or whatever. It's called the I can't remember what it's called, but in Germany,
Yeah.
it will now pull itself to the shoulder.
Amazing. Okay, we got to test one of those.
Yeah, and that's the one that does the lights and opens the door, and like they focus on all this stuff. So we need to get that system here in this test.
Dang. Okay.
And that we might want to add some more stuff here now that things are coming out. I mean, the point of this test is to evolve as driver assistance systems evolve.
Yeah, they're better than they were a couple years ago when we started this test. So that's the driver unresponsive situation. Not bad, not the worst, not best, could be better. But at this point we get to the drive, I guess.
Right. So now we basically have the opportunity to deduct points for the most part only. And what that means is if we hit a line, if the steering shuts off, if there's a bug, we have objective scores that we remove, but it's also very much about the feel of the system and does it feel confidence inspiring and is it something you would want to use, because it is really important for the subjective component that it doesn't just stay in the lane, but it's locked in. There's no excessive ping ponging. And so Jordan and I have some influence over the scoring through editor's input, which is a way more official name than we should have ever given it. And, and we've already awarded it 1 point because we gave it to it before when we ran the last EQS a couple of years ago.
Oh, 2 points, yeah.
Oh, 2
so
points.
So it's the high limit of 130 miles an hour. Is that still the case here?
Yes, 130 miles an hour of lane centering. I think 210 kph. It will just do lane centering, which is like, okay, maybe you don't need 130, but like a lot of systems, Rivian, Tesla, only do 85.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit too low, especially when we're out in Wyoming and the speed limit's 80, or you're in Texas and the speed limit's 85.
Right.
You want 90, 95, 100. For lane centering,
just to keep up with traffic.
And the German cars, of course, they tune their cars for their market.
Right.
So 130 miles an hour lane centering, bring it on. All right, so let's get cameraed up and let's head out on the Hogback. Into drive, and I'm actually going to go D auto. How do I do that?
Oh, desired recuperation level currently unavailable. So many syllables.
There we go. D auto, intelligent recuperation. Just because it said something about that in the menu.
Right.
We are now heading off onto the Hogback, and the most important question, Jordan, is what massage setting would you like for this drive?
I could do that from my screen here as well, but I would like the hot relaxing back.
Okay, I'm going to go for the activating massage, but with the heated seat on full for the hot effect.
Yep.
So that way I get the best of both worlds. And this one is spec'd with the rapid heating front seat option.
It's amazing.
Oh man, it is. This does feel like a lot of car, and you know, we would be, I don't know. I think if you're going to buy one of these, either lease it new, or buy one used.
Right.
Dude, they're 50 grand used.
The depreciation of any S-Class product just really is amazing.
And especially when it looks like a blob. And but it's functional.
It is functional and it works well, but it's like crazy to see how the S-Class gas version versus this one in the looks department is crazy. And just the fact that you can have a Mercedes AMG GTR in the garage next to this, and they're both from the same company, but they look completely different.
Yeah, and completely different philosophies as well. But I have to say, I'm bought into the EQ thing.
Yep.
I'm probably one of the, I don't want to say an EQ apologist, but like the more time you spend with these, the more they make sense.
Yep.
They're efficient. They don't have a big peak charging speed, but they just sit there every time consistently without issue. So anyway, now we're merging up to the highway, full throttle in the 450 plus.
Yeah, not a lot of power.
Nah, it's not that much, is it? Yeah, mid 300s.
349.
All right, so we're going to get up to 65, get the system set at the speed limit. One more, I can swipe to do individual miles per hours. And we are on active steering. I'm going to let it go, and we're hitting a line, -1 right off the bat, Jordan.
Wow.
Oh no, that was not great right off the bat, was it?
No.
Okay, it's doing an automatic lane change and then just gave up.
It canceled itself.
Don't know why. So anyway, we are now locked in and everything is good. So let's see how it does. We are coming up on some slower traffic. We woke up early to do this today. It's now 8:22 a.m., but I live quite far away. And that is because this road has been under construction and having traffic closures. Will it do an automatic lane change to go past? The screen knows that there's a vehicle in front. It shows A on either side of the steering wheel, both in my head-up display and not. Will it initiate an automatic lane change?
It should.
It should, but maybe because it just had a canceled one, it won't? Now we're only doing 37 miles an hour. What the heck? All right, I'm going to do a manual lane change. It grayed out that lane, Nope, won't do a lane change at the moment. Maybe we're too slow.
Weird.
Okay, this is not off to a great start here. Why did we say the system was so awesome?
I mean, it's funny. It was amazing in the last EQS we tested, but it was really bad in the GLS we tested.
Right, that was interesting. And that's why we actually test vehicle models as well.
Right, they're not all the same.
Right, we've seen this difference too with like Hyundai's Santa Fe being pretty bad and then Ioniq being pretty good. I don't know exactly how that worked out, but yes, it is based on each model. So now that we're kind of locked in, the lane change thing seems to be good. The steering thing seems to be good now.
I just had a rough start waking up, you know?
Yeah, just needed some coffee this morning, even though it is the color of coffee.
Right.
What's it going to do here? Oh boy. No, it's good. It's good. As soon as that guy cleared the lane, it got back on the throttle. It is kind of hugging the outside of the corners.
I feel that.
Yeah, and so I do wish it was a little bit more centered. Yeah, especially because if you're on the outside of a corner, most people in another lane, their tendency is to be on the inside of the corner to get the racing line. And so then you become really close to people around you.
So,
what should we say?
Yeah, I should say we're deducting 1 point if Kyle has to take over for safety, the driver. If it does an auto disengagement but warns us, that's -2 points. And if it does a disengagement without warning, that's -3 points.
Right, that's where it just shuts off.
Yeah.
And it's like, good luck.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Which some EGMP products have done that.
We've seen like a lot of cars do that, surprisingly. Porsche does that a lot.
Yeah.
Porsche InnoDrive needs some real work.
Yeah.
We're going to run the new Taycan.
Not all German systems are made the same. Because then we have the BMW with like the best thing ever.
Yeah, so if you're watching this video, stay tuned because we will be running this car's direct competitor, the i7, in this same test. And that has hands-free driver assistance. Which, is the hands-free thing that big of a deal, Jordan?
I don't think so. I don't know. As long as it has good capacitive wheel, like, and doesn't bug you all the time, I don't know. I like partial hands-free. Like, when it knows you're looking forward, it bugs you less, but maybe not completely.
Yeah, here's my problem with most hands-free systems. Sometimes you want to change the radio or do something. And if they just completely freak out, then it's almost not usable.
Yeah. Well, there's some automatic lane changing cars like the
I'm gonna sorry to interrupt you, I apologize, but I was just gonna say we like to drive in the right lane most of the time for this test, and it hasn't moved to the right, but here I'm doing an automatic lane change, but I'm manually initiated.
Which is interesting because I think with the automatic lane change system, it will automatically lane change and then back, but because you turned it on in the center lane, maybe that's why it wasn't going over to the right.
Right, maybe if you're in the left lane, it doesn't do it, but as long as it can see one lane to the left of you, maybe it doesn't force you right anymore.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if it holds the speed limit or changes. We do have a vehicle on the shoulder ahead. It is not lane changing over for them, but I'm going to, again, just click the turn signal to the point of resistance. It will make the lane change. Now, if I go past the point of resistance, does that cancel auto steer? Nope, you can put it up all the way. Some systems, this cancels it and some doesn't. What happens if I leave it on? Turn signal stays on, and then you just pull it down.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
Cool that it has both options, yeah.
Beautiful views. This is one of this segment of Hogbacks that we're doing this week will be one of the last ones without snow up there, because it's been, dude, it was 40 degrees last night.
Yeah, and we should be seeing snow later this week, I think. So
oh, really?
That's the Continental Divide up ahead, and it should be snow-capped by the end of next week.
Okay, I got to call our sponsor Nokian and order some tires.
Yep.
Did you get some winters already?
I've got winters on my cars, yeah.
Okay.
So,
well,
Nokians all around.
Yeah, we love Nokian tires, no question. And I actually drove an EQS 450 on Nokian tires.
Oh, right.
You remember at the Copper Mountain event, they brought one.
Yep.
And, oh, it's doing an auto lane change to the middle lane for no apparent reason.
Yeah, we're not coming up to any car.
Why? Maybe because it's to follow the route? I'm going to force us in the right lane, since this is a really important part of our test here, where we want to see if it can hold this turn with an exit lane pulling off from it without the dotted line.
Yeah, it's been doing well not taking exits yet, and wow.
Oh man, perfection.
That's textbook.
That's perfection. Amazing. And I'm just keeping my hands lightly on the wheel just to satisfy the capacitive touch.
Yep.
So I'm going to give it a -1 point. Not for that turn. That turn was a +1. That was amazing.
Yeah.
But actually for the awkward automatic lane change logic.
Yep.
This is something that is sounds great on paper that it can automatically pass cars and move back. Super Cruise actually does an amazing job of that.
Yeah.
You had the Hummer EV recently in California, and dude, you were following me, again, changing lanes for no reason.
I mean, we're coming up on a car, I guess.
No, we're not gaining on him.
Yeah.
I think it just thinks that's the exit
like
lane.
The right lane.
So it's not very German.
Right. Andreas would be plopped in the right lane the whole way to Grand Junction.
Absolutely. That's how it should be. So I'm going to force us back again to the right lane. People around us must be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I forgot what we were saying. Oh, Super Cruise. You were in the Hummer EV, and dude, that thing just whoop, whoop,
yep.
does some pretty aggressive lane changes.
It does.
BMW does as well. So it does feel a bit awkward coming into the corner. You're like, are you sure it's going to do it?
A little jerky, yeah. It's just kind of...
I don't know if jerky's the word, because it is smooth.
Yeah, but it's doing kind of the, not quite ping-ponging, but it like reaches a point, it's like, oh, time to turn.
Yeah, so I would say it's like coming into the corner, it's like, oh, there's a corner here.
Yep.
And everything about this car is soft and squishy and smooth. No question. The noise, performance, ride quality, we don't even need to mention that. I'm initiating a lane change to the middle lane just to let this guy merge.
That's when you think it would have done it.
So it did adapt to the speed limit of 55.
Perfect.
Did we pass the 55 sign?
Yep, we did.
Okay.
It saw it.
Good thing it saw it.
And you didn't, yeah.
Yeah. I should pay more attention.
This guy's just looking at us. And
Yeah, he's like, why did you slam on the brakes? Well, sir, the speed limit has dropped.
Yeah, so we immediately must change the speed limit.
Yes, and you should be already slowed down by the time you pass the sign.
Yep.
So now, will it go back to the right lane? Probably not. It knows this is a truck, so it is doing vehicle classification on the screen as well.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So let's just come in behind the truck. Some systems really do struggle when you're behind a big vehicle, and they start to because they can't see as far ahead, start to ping pong. But I will say, once this is on a straight bit of road, amazing. You used it in the highway range test, which is far less treacherous than this.
Yeah.
What was your impression?
I mean, just really, really, really good. I guess straight highways is what we used, but no issues. Before I forgot to turn off automatic lane change, it was getting really annoying with that. So maybe that's just a bit weirdly sensitive at times, but otherwise not fatiguing, not annoying, doesn't nag you too much. Yeah, really impressive.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, dude, we got to do the extreme hogback, which is Route 6.
I don't think it would do super well. I think some turns it just doesn't have the ability to really dive in.
Yeah, so some systems, another auto lane change to the middle lane.
For no reason.
For no reason.
I can start, deducting.
Not for everyone, but I think this should be like if you're a German driver, or me, or someone who likes to drive in the right lane, which is where the slower traffic should be, why does it keep forcing us left?
Yeah, that's really strange.
Yeah, that doesn't feel right. And we want to stay in the right because we want to test its exit off-ramp performance.
Yeah, it doesn't want us to test that.
Right. I mean, we could shut it off now that we've shown that it works.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you like to drive in the middle lane, this is the car for you. So actually, no, let's just keep everything on. I'm curious to see what more it does.
If it does it a ton, we'll just do maybe -2 instead of -1, because that seems
yeah, I think we're already at the -2
fairly
level.
aggressive. Yeah.
So it just seems weird to me that it won't stay in the rightmost lane. I was going to say something. I can't remember what the heck I was thinking.
I mean, we're talking about how aggressively some cars will dive into the lane changes.
Oh, yeah. So some cars have that steering angle limitation that we feel like where they get maxed out and then they move because they literally are programmed not to put in any more degree of steering. This doesn't feel like that. And then some have a maximum G-force limitation. This also doesn't feel like that. This is almost a little bit of a combination. Why are we're cutting off a Subaru? Honestly,
well, that's just Colorado.
They drive a Subaru, so they deserve it. Nothing against Subaru drivers. I'm just joking.
It literally did that to avoid the exit. It was like, oh, I must not exit. Do the opposite.
So it's been programmed. Oh, now it's going 65.
Speeding up. Okay. Wow.
I don't think we passed a sign, Jordan.
I did not see a sign.
But at least it gets the test done quicker. So.
Right. Now it would make sense when it would...
Right, so I had to do that lane change. So the auto lane changes are done. It will not pass that slower vehicle.
Weird.
But now is when the test gets really hard.
Yeah.
So over this hill is when it gets really twisty, really difficult. Dude, speed limit 45 here. Will it see it and will it adjust? Let's see.
We'll just slam on the brakes.
45. Oh, it's so funny. It went for the lane change, speed limit dropped, and then it canceled the lane change.
That's kind of funny.
But if it had just looked ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, we typically run vehicles at 55 through here, and we will get run over if we drive 45.
Yeah.
This is like, you would, it's a death wish to drive 45 right here. So we're going to keep it at 55.
I should mention, this is Sunday morning. There's no active construction working. It's just a construction zone right now. So.
Right.
But yeah, trying to keep it with the mountain traffic on a weekend.
Yeah, people do like 80 through here, so you know, forgive us for going. We're still the slowest cars on the road.
Yep.
All right, so now we've got the crazy downhill. It is slowing down again for the speed limit sign, so that works.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a way to set an offset.
No, that would be nice.
Yeah, unless the speed limit warning +5 counts.
We could try that.
Yeah, let's do that actually. If you can go into settings and give that a go.
That was where?
Assistance and then
Speed adjustment.
Yeah. Oh,
Nope.
no. Gosh. Oh yeah, maybe under assistance, traffic sign assist.
Threshold 5.
Okay. Settings changed here.
It just says settings changed, but
Yes.
not what changed.
Not what changed. So next time we pass the speed limit sign, we'll see if it goes 5 over.
Yeah.
Which is probably how most people would set it. And if that's the case, they should have a 10 over option.
Right.
Because I feel like most people drive 10 over.
So now we have, construction area.
Perfect through here.
Rough lanes.
But very smooth.
The car feels smooth. Yeah.
And the system did really well.
Yep.
Look at this. This is great right now. We're hugging the middle of the lane, but this is where it gets really tough.
Does this do any of the, where you can position in the lane?
I don't know if it creates a Rettungsgasse. Is that what it's called? An emergency lane?
Right.
I think it does in Germany, but I don't think it's programmed here for that. Let me see if I can hold it to the right line. So I'm pushing hard against the right lane. Oh, it just gave us a little warning. And it's going back to the middle.
Yeah, it's back to the middle, I think.
Yep, absolutely.
Doesn't really hold that.
Right, so like Volkswagen says, we keep bringing up Volkswagen, but they
do well.
They did a pretty nice job with the new version of Travel Assist, but you can lock it to the left or the right lane.
Yeah.
Taycan works that way as well.
Yep.
Haven't tried Macan. Maybe I have tried Macan, but we're going to run Macan here pretty soon. Okay, this is the toughest section of the test. We've got a left-hander with an exit. It's pretty tight. Speed limit's 55 now. The car did not go to 60. It is holding this lane. It's saying grab the wheel, but it didn't give up.
Wow.
Dude.
That's really good. And there's no lane marking right there.
That was
off.
awesome. At the end, it didn't unlock steering as much as I wanted it to.
Yep.
And there was a car there, but it was before like 1 second before I took over.
Yeah.
So let's see. This is also a really difficult section here.
Tight turn with a cliff. Don't want to die.
Oh no, we're going wide, but it caught it just
caught
before
it.
we hit the line. Will it do it again? Dude, I don't know. It just feels a bit non-confident, but it technically is within the lines, and I haven't had to take over. I'm just keeping my hands so lightly on the wheel. Let's see what it does here. Okay, giving it the capacitive it's looking for. So certainly when it gets confused, it's like, hey, touch the wheel. Oh, we hit a line and it dinged, but the steering stayed on, so -1.
Yep. Not too bad.
And it is slowing down to 45. I'm going to keep it back at 55 since that's the speed we run every car through here. And slower than everyone else is going.
Still, yeah.
Okay.
The truck behind us with his brights on.
I know. Oh gosh. Getting close on the left, but it's doing it.
Oh man.
It just needs to hug the inside.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit more confidence in the corners. Man, this is not as good as I remember. Okay, and that's that, and it doesn't automatically take our turnaround loop exit for us, so I will manually take us off.
Cool.
Okay, halfway in, Jordan.
I mean, it doesn't feel super confidence inspiring in some ways, but on paper it's doing well. You've had 2 takeovers.
Right,
And that's
exactly.
it. We've had some minor complaints here and there, but it's doing the paper thing.
I just got ABS over that bump.
Right.
It's pedal. I mean, one bump and the pedal.
Yep.
So, okay, on a straight road, I know the system really well. You know the system really well. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Really good system. here in the mountains, though, I don't know, dude. I don't think I like it as much as I thought I remembered liking it. It certainly is still one of the better systems we've run through here.
Yeah.
And is still a highly recommended. Like, it's not like a don't buy this car because of the system. In fact, it's almost like a buy this car because of the system if you do a lot of straight highway driving.
Yep.
Can we turn off the automatic speed thing, by the way?
Yep.
Just because I want to force it to run at a reasonable pace.
Oh, let's see. Assistance, driving, speed adjustment.
Maximum permissible speeds off, but we will let it do route based where it can slow down for corners.
Yep.
All right, so now that won't happen anymore. Lane changing, I'm going to cancel it.
For no reason.
No reason.
Someone from Mercedes, let us know what's going on.
Yeah, what the heck?
Pull the
Okay.
logs.
But now it's doing this
That's
corner
pretty
great.
good. Okay.
Okay. This is also a really tough section, and Jordan, oftentimes we notice cars do worse
Yeah.
heading this way. Man, it soaks up those moon craters like nothing.
Yeah, it's really nice ride.
And this is Death Corner coming up. It used to have a broken line marking, so it's a bit unfair for those early cars, which is why also we retest with road conditions. But so many cars just go straight here. Let's see what this does. For some reason, this hill and turn freak systems out. Went right to the edge, but it did it.
Close, but yeah.
If there was a car right next to me, they would have probably thought we were going straight.
Right.
And then it ended on the inside,
Okay, weird.
but technically within the lines.
Yeah. So I do think if I was taking this through the mountains to Grand Junction, I would do a fair amount of driving myself. But it does pretty well.
Yeah, I would say it's doing pretty well for sure, but yes.
But on the lane change thing is very strange to me.
I would turn that off.
The Kia EV6 lane changes I really dislike. I'd turn those off.
It has auto lane change?
It does.
Really?
Well, not without user input, but it
Oh.
has auto lane change. But you have to literally be gripping the steering wheel, otherwise it'll freak out. And so if you're gripping the steering wheel,
Cancel.
you're just throwing it off. And so it's almost like the most worthless auto lane change feature.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've noticed that.
So
Okay. But this manual
prefer-
lane change, or manual activation, but still auto
Yeah.
lane change, is near perfect.
yeah, this does, and actually the Lucid, now that it has it in its new software, also has really good, just dives right into the lane.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I've only
Very
done
aggressive.
one lane change, but it faults it out on me on that one lane change. So
It's faulted out on me some of the times, maybe a third of the time, so that's
Okay.
not great. But
that's my experience with it,
Well,
at least. I'll have to play around with it.
I'm curious to see how well the Lucid will do. I don't think it'll do great in this test.
I have
but
no idea what to expect
We'll see.
because it does have the new software,
Yeah.
and you've spent more time with it on there. Certainly, though, this is a great for the standard driver assistance system.
Yep.
This is pretty great. Okay, we are going to hit the lane change to the left manually. I'm going to do it for a second time so we don't run these people over. I'm going to take over. Oh no, it's doing it.
Nice.
It didn't do it quite fast
A
enough.
van to die right there.
God, the guy's just standing right in the middle of the road.
It's terrifying.
Crazy. Yeah, this is really, they need to get this road finished
Yeah.
by winter. I
Right.
mean, they only have a couple weeks left.
Well, that'll be.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Are they building a walkway over here? What are they doing?
I think so.
That's
Not
dangerous.
sure why. I don't know if
to
anyone
the-
played any walking about.
Yeah. All right, coming up now, we're actually coming into some light conditions that may affect the camera. One thing you did during the range test was you had glare right on the car.
Yeah.
How did it do?
Really totally fine.
Okay, so glare
Yeah.
didn't seem to affect it.
Glare did not. It is interesting, some cars have the
What's
camera.
it gonna do?
Well, that was close. But we
Barely didn't hit the wall.
within parameters.
I don't know.
As they would say.
Did we already give it like a laziness or this like almost like
I think we should. It seems like a little bumbling barge.
yeah bumbling barge. That's what you could put. Not as bumbling as this Buick though.
No.
That's a bumbling barge. That LeSabre, the official car of the opioid crisis.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give it a -1 for just some lazy lane centering.
Yeah, lazy. That's really the right way to say it.
Yeah.
Other than that though,
No.
so straight when we're doing this, it's just awesome.
Yeah, it just eats it up.
And it doesn't. That's the one thing with this system. I think they tuned it so smooth that it never gives you a harsh input.
Yep.
So it's just always so relaxing. It's almost better if you're kind of not paying attention because you won't know how close you are to dying.
Right.
But if you are paying attention, you'll just like kind of be nudging it around the corner sometimes.
Yep.
I'm also thinking like a lot of people who buy these live in, Connecticut as an example, and the Merritt Parkway is very twisty and tight, and I feel like this system would not be great on the Merritt Parkway.
Be interesting to have a supplemental, if Dave had his own kind of hogback challenge in Connecticut.
Yeah, the Merritt Parkway challenge. Dude, the Merritt's no joke.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yep.
Well, it's kind of nice, but also boring when it's just really pretty good.
Yeah, well, this is great.
Some of these tests, the whole time we're like, oh, we're gonna die.
Yep, exactly. So I've never been to this EA in where Evergreen.
Oh yeah.
Have you been there?
Not to the EA. Evergreen, I love. Great burger place out there.
Okay, I don't actually think I've driven through Evergreen once.
It's got that lake.
Oh yeah? Which one?
Evergreen Lake.
Evergreen Lake.
They do in the winter, they do like ATV racing and stuff on it. It's very
okay.
Seems
not as cool as Georgetown Lake, where you could take this Mercedes out there and do some sliding around.
Lane changing all the way out there.
Yeah, I don't know why it wants to just say in the middle. That's very odd. Okay, so let's talk about this system as we're sort of getting towards the end of the test, more or less, in comparison with, I would say your straight line highway systems. Here comes an EQS SUV on the way up in the other direction.
Cool.
Wonder if they're using...
Maybe they're doing their own tests.
Is it EQS or EQE? EQS.
Yeah.
You can always tell by 3 dots in the headlights, by the way.
Oh.
3 dots is S-Class, 2 dots is E-Class, and single is C-Class.
Wow, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know.
Yep.
Did A and B class get headlights?
No, they don't even come equipped. Windshield wipers, sorry. Got to get an E-Class for that. Speaking of, I own an electric Mercedes.
You do?
I have
have 2 electric Mercedes products.
What's the second one?
Smart.
Oh, that's right, the Smart. But my B-Class is now fixed and working perfectly.
Amazing.
I took it all around yesterday. It's not quite registered
Does that
yet.
have any? Does that have like adaptive cruise or anything?
Yeah, so here's the thing with my B-Class. It has one of the first iterations of adaptive regen.
Wow.
I think it was the first vehicle with adaptive regen. Yeah. Maybe Volt had something like it. But anyway, this was 2014, my car, and mine is not equipped with it, but it has all the hardware for it. I just don't have, it was an extra option to get the regen paddles that whoever spec'd my car didn't spec. They also didn't spec my range extender.
Oh, dang.
Do you know what the range extender does in the B-Class?
Nope.
Okay, so my car, when it goes to 100% state of charge, is only like 84%.
Oh.
And you can hit a button for a one-time 100% charge, and that's somehow a paid upgrade. But mine doesn't have it. So my car has never been fully charged a day in its life.
Right, so when you fully charge your car, it's actually not as hard as on the battery as someone who has
Not
that.
at all. It's like a software limited pack.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and so I drove it to Colton's shop and back yesterday at like, I don't know, 75, 80 miles an hour on the highway, allegedly, because it's not registered.
Yep.
And I used 50% going there and back.
Wow.
And that's like 45 miles.
Okay.
So that would indicate almost 90 miles of highway range.
Yeah.
I don't think it would do quite that much. I'm not sure if it's a non-linear discharge curve.
Yeah.
But anyway, it did really well. Tesla Model S drivetrain.
Nice. Right, that was a partnership that helped save Tesla from some financial woes back in the day.
You can thank Mercedes for keeping Tesla alive. Now they're probably killing themselves over it.
Right.
Oh, our massage is stopped.
All right, yeah, I'm activating hot relaxing back. What would you like this time, sir?
Will you just put hot relaxing back on for me? Thank you.
Yep, great.
There you go. Now you got it.
Nice.
I love all of this MBUX stuff. I don't actually prefer the standard screen. I'm not sure I like this big glass thing.
Yeah, the standard screen looks a little better to me. This looks a little cheesy, but it is a party trick.
If it was one screen, like it was presented to be, would have been so cool. But the fact that it's just 3 screens behind one very sophisticated piece of glass with a literal crash structure built into the glass.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it has breakaway points for a side impact and other stuff. It's pretty cool. I did a whole 70-page press release read. I'm going to bump us up to 65 now on this glass.
Wow.
Which that I have to give Mercedes props for. Their media information is so detailed.
Yeah, everything you want to know. Some other brands we have to really either
GM
do digging or
they don't tell us anything.
We have to literally find an engineer who knows the answer because they didn't tell anyone.
Right, and they always trying to hide them in the back corner. We can never get access to them.
It's crazy.
And like new Silverado just came out for 2025 with updated range, and it's like cell chemistry, Ultium cells. What does that mean?
What?
If you read the definition of Ultium cells, it is we are agnostic to the cell type. Oh, we hit the line and there's a car coming.
Dangerous.
-1.
Yep.
I had to force it.
Finally, something happened.
Yeah, okay. We're talking about a Silverado in the EQS video. What the heck?
About other brands.
We could just do podcasts. We should do a Hogback Challenge podcast.
Right. I mean, Matt and Zach from Nokian Tyres do that sometimes. They'll just do a podcast in the car. It's great.
Okay. Yeah, great. Love those guys. Okay, what's it going to do here? Exit lane.
It's really good at not taking these exits. Some cars just really, even Teslas will sometimes just like, oh.
Every Tesla on basic autopilot or whatever, like when the lane gets big, it goes to the middle and then goes, oh shit.
Yep.
And it's like, this is supposed to be the most advanced car or whatever, and they still can't figure that out. Oh, there we go.
That's sweet.
Love a V.
Well, you know what's really interesting is I noticed FSD will, you have FSD, it should follow the car instructions. It doesn't sometimes. Like to get into my neighborhood, the nav will tell it to go to a different entrance.
Yes.
And FSD will take the one that you need to do.
Yes. Yep. I've noticed that, especially pulling out of the office because we have that really difficult left turn.
Yeah.
It will go right and then make a U-turn.
Wild. Stayed with the line there too. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so the system's really good. It's just the corners, the sharp corners.
Yeah.
It's a little lazy in.
So the hardware thing is interesting. I mean, when you get the one that has like the LiDAR and stuff, does it add a rear camera that's not hidden by the badge that flips up? Because the badge that flips up hides the rear camera, which is how a lot of other cars might see things around them.
It definitely does not do any pothole avoidance. What's crazy is those are some of the strongest potholes, so much so it gave these guys flat tires.
Yep.
Okay. And we barely felt that.
Yeah.
This suspension is amazing.
I drive this car different than my Miata. Actually, both my cars are not the best suspension wise.
Yeah. I don't know what's worse, your Jeep or your Miata. I think your Jeep's worse.
Yeah.
And now we have that regen pulling us down.
Lovely.
So huge range, huge efficiency, great driver assistance.
This car does have like a pretty complete package. Amazing sound system. This Burmeister is up there with the best.
Yeah, absolutely. They really nailed it. Now we got to go back down to 55 since we turned off auto speed adaptation.
Right.
I will set it there. Yeah, so what's our score right now?
We're at 18, so we've only had 3 points deducted for
How
you
did
taking
the
over.
AMG score?
Let me see here.
I thought we turned off auto lane change.
No, it's still on.
Yeah, I see that.
We talked about turning it off.
Oh, okay. And what year was that car? 23?
That was 22.
22, so two model years ago.
So the GLS had 25 driver takeovers.
Oh, yeah. That's why you can't, like, all this active driving assistant, whatever. This is called adaptive cruise distronic with something.
Yeah. So the AMG had 6 driver takeovers.
Okay. So this is doing better.
Yes, so far.
And I would say the route's actually gotten a little bit tougher.
Yep.
Because that construction zone narrows it down a bit.
Yep. So genuinely good.
Man, the most dangerous thing you can do in Colorado is drive the speed limit. We almost got rear-ended just twice right there.
Yeah, Altima.
Yeah.
Just Altima things.
Yes. Altima, Tundra, whose brakes are already on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, it is.
It is treacherous. They've got like runaway truck ramps because semis can't always keep up with the decreasing.
Yeah, you see truck brakes on fire all the time.
Yep.
Actually, I was just driving on the other side of the tunnel heading west.
Yep.
And there was a truck coming down the hill that lost its brakes but didn't take the truck ramp. It was like smoking and everything. And then passing cars with the hazards on, like he knew there was a problem.
Oh my gosh.
And he, professional driver, you should take the truck ramp.
Yep.
And he just relied on there being no traffic and then, slowing down on the uphill. But I was like, dude, that's
terrifying.
so dangerous.
Right.
I would have called him into the police if I got his plate number or whatever, but he was behind us and we were like, we are just gonna full throttle it. Yep. Get the heck out of here. Come on, lane change. Lane change. It's not doing it. Manual takeover for the lane change. I would say it had plenty of room.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a -1 for it really doesn't like to pull out in front of cars.
Yep.
Now we're coming down to the last few corners of the test. Again, another pretty treacherous section. And lazy cornering. So we may match the previous system. Or slightly better.
Close, yeah.
I guess this has some more starting points because of software updates.
Right. Really with the automatic lane change, which
actually
been good.
Yeah, it was not good. And can we deduct all the benefit of, no, we should give it 1 point because some people may not want to drive in the right lane. So how many points do we give it for auto lane change?
I think we give it
3?
5.
5?
Yeah.
Then we should deduct 3.
So without user input, we give it 3.
Yeah, okay, 3, so then we deduct 2.
Yeah. Yep. So we're good with that.
Yeah. Oh, stop it!
Speaking of.
And we're coming up to our exit right here. If it automatically takes the exit for us, it's a nice benefit.
Yep.
But it loses points.
Yep.
So we let it go all the way right to the end and then take the off ramp. So let's see what it does. Nope, it's just gonna hug the inside lane.
Okay. That's good.
And we're off. Okay, that's the end of the Hogback and the EQS. Honestly, pretty great, if not just a little bit timid.
Yep.
But the car is amazing. Wow. These are the best used value cars. I could highly recommend one of these. They seem durable.
Yep.
They seem reliable, and they just have so much functionality and comfort. Like, yeah, I get it looks a little bit weird, but I mean, holy smokes, what a value for in the used market, or even on a lease if you get a new one and lease it.
Right.
I've heard some of these going for under $600 a month in California.
Jeez.
For like low mileage.
This is a lot of car for that.
This is a lot of car. This is just a lot of car in general.
Yeah.
This is, some really top tier stuff. And I think the interior creakiness has gotten better, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with the S-Class. I feel like you get into a B, GLB or something, it's like, oh.
Yeah. It gets pretty rough. Well, let's not get taken out by an Armada, the official vehicle of the UAE, the Nissan Patrol. Okay, final stats, please.
Yes, so only 3 driver takeovers for safety. That's definitely better than the last one we tested.
Okay.
No disengagements.
Yep.
And then, yeah, we gave it a little points for the high speed limit with lane centering, but then lane changing annoyances, lazy lane centering, the bumbling barge issue. The total is 18.
Well, I think we should give it 1 point for just being so phenomenal on straight roads.
Right.
Or just not as aggressive as this.
Yeah.
So I feel like this paints a pretty rough picture of it, actually. And in the real world, most people will probably have a better experience. Because on a straight road, there's no ping-ponging. It's just locked in. It's, you just touch the wheel with capacitive lightly, and it does its thing. And this is one hell of a road tripper that we've proven many times.
Yep.
So I would say +1 from me on that.
Yep. Straight road prowess.
There we go. And the final score?
19.
19. Wow.
Honestly good.
Okay, so where does that rank it in comparison with other vehicles we've tested?
I mean, almost at the top.
Really?
Yeah. So
Man,
I need to look at some of the...
What's our final scores of stuff that we haven't ranked from?
I need to double check Max's math because he has the AMG EQS at 22, and I don't see how that actually beat this. So
Oh, okay. So we need to check some of the scoring.
check some scoring, but this is like top 3 basically. Is
Really?
where this is at right now. Yeah.
Okay. So when you edit this video, can you give us the final actual score?
Yep.
I can't wait to see how the i7 does.
Yeah. Same.
And also FSD 12.5.6. We've never tested a highway FSD on version 12 yet because it's still on the V11 stack.
Yeah. So we have a Plaid with FSD beta that we tested. That's also top 3. But that didn't even have as many preliminary points that we've given this thing.
Right.
So.
Yeah. The Tesla stuff doesn't have nearly as many safety related components as these with driver eye tracking and takeover stuff. So anyway, that was a relaxing one.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do the Ioniq 6.
less relaxing.
Let's hope we don't die. See you on another one again soon. Actually, Jordan's going to finish this one off with the final score.
Yep.
Just a little additional clip. I'm in traffic in the EQS, and you can see there's a little traffic indication over here, and so it knows that we are in a traffic area. I'm curious now if it lets us create this emergency lane. If I hug it to the left side here, active steering is still on, and it does seem to be kind of staying left for sure. No, it's walking its way back to the middle. Never mind. Maybe that's only for the Euro market. And now you can see the traffic indication has gone away, maybe because I've taken over. Nope, now it's back. Interesting. I think it just means I can keep my hand off the wheel for a longer period of time. But yeah, very smooth accelerating and decelerating here in stop and go situations.
Right, so I've reviewed the facts and figures and fixed some equations in our spreadsheets, and the math was a bit off. This EQS actually got 23 points, which is actually a new record in our Hogback Driver's Assistance Challenge. The old AMG EQS actually resulted in a total of 17, so definitely a bit worse overall. A couple more issues on that test, but that was also a couple years ago, so there are clearly some improvements here. Still some more room for improvement, but this car is definitely now the chart topper.